How do the astronauts return safely to Earth from the space station? What are some of the thrilling processes they go through? First, they complete a handover to the crew that will remain on the station, then they begin to enter the return module and close all the doors, then release the docking locks and the return spacecraft is ready to leave the station. At this time, the spacecraft will gradually move away from the space station, and when the distance between the two is long enough, the spacecraft will begin to start the propulsion as well as the braking engine ignition, and then the spacecraft will reduce the flight speed to gradually lower the orbit, in order to smoothly enter the descending orbit of the atmosphere, which is the process of deorbiting. When the spacecraft is ready to enter the atmosphere, in order to ensure that the equipment on the spacecraft will not collide with each other after separation, it is necessary to rotate the spacecraft by 90 degrees, and then divide the propulsion module, the return module, and the orbital module into 3 parts to return to Earth. The orbital module stores the astronauts in space generated by the life of the garbage. It and the propulsion module together in the atmosphere is destroyed by ablation. The astronauts ride the return capsule, the bottom of which is designed with a special heat insulation material, which can withstand the return capsule and the atmosphere friction ignited in the high temperature of 1000 to 2000 degrees Celsius flames, to ensure that the astronauts will not suffer from high temperature injuries. At this time in the atmosphere of the return capsule in the impact of air resistance, although the speed will gradually slow down, but still with the air will be violent friction. Friction will ignite a high-temperature flame of 1000 to 2000 degrees Celsius. Outside the cabin will form around the plasma, which can block the transmission of radio signals, so the astronauts in this step will be temporarily lost contact with the ground command center for about 5 minutes, that is, into the so-called black barrier zone. Astronauts in this step not only have to withstand the huge psychological pressure that ordinary people cannot withstand, and secondly, due to the long-term work in a weightless environment, and now return to the Earth will have to withstand the sudden gravity. The body may therefore appear some symptoms of discomfort. When the capsule is still about 10 kilometers from the ground, the parachute cover will be opened automatically, and then the 4 parachutes with different roles will be opened one by one to slow down the speed of the fall. The bottom heat shield will be separated, and the thrust reverser engine, which serves as a cushion on the ground, will be exposed. As the return module continues to land, about 1 meter from the ground will start the thrust reversal engine, thus helping the return module to achieve a safe soft landing, and finally the heroes in the module just need to wait for the arrival of the ground search personnel on the line. Pay attention to the skills of this young man. He is known as the Chinese version of Messi, but also one of the few soccer geniuses. He not only shoots from an extremely tricky angle, the innate sense of the ball is even more outstanding, can be said to be a bullet. 100 hits by netizens have been teased, then the national team players are too strong. It is a pity that such a superb ball skills of the national team simply do not accept, in the end is not enough technology, or Chinese soccer is too complicated. Next let us, flying legs, of the road of soccer. The video of the hard-training soccer guy is now 24 years old. His name is Nurmai Mighty, from a poor family in Shushu County, Xinjiang, Kashgar. Although his family is poor, but he has been carrying a big dream, that is to enter the national soccer team. In order to fulfill his dream, he takes time out every day to practice his soccer skills. Due to the limitation of conditions, there is no professional soccer field and goal, so he used a simple door and window as a goal. In this way, day after day, year after year, after more than a dozen years of baptism of the wind and rain, he mastered the soccer technology, is very skillful. 30 meters away from the window can be easily hit by him. Even difficult action header shot, upside down shot is also in the same way. His shooting technology can be accurate to randomly kick a soccer can hit the target. After he released his training video on the internet, he not only got the public's recognition, but also gained more than 2 million fans in a year's time, and the netizens all expect the young man to enter the national team. Finally in 2021, he received an invitation from Xinjiang Tianshan Snow Leopard soccer team, which also signed a 1-year contract with him. Nur has good soccer talent, strong explosive power and tricky shooting angles, but is weak in teamwork and tactical awareness. During training, Nur's strengths and weaknesses were obvious, and he promised to train hard to make up for the shortcomings. On October 4, 2021, in the U21 Football League organized by the CFA, Nur scored 2 goals with his tricky shooting angle, which made the fans' blood boil, and also made a leap forward for his career, and even the CCTV had made a special report on him and named him as a commendation. But after the expiration of the contract, for some reason Nur continued to return to his small mountain village. A time online public opinion, some say that Nur feel that playing football is not as netizen to make money, so voluntarily give up. There are also said that the soccer team's water is too deep. If you simply want to play football is very difficult to stay. What exactly is the reason has not been confirmed by the authority. Anyway, we all think it is quite a pity. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to the two, Cobra had crept up behind them. Suddenly, he seemed to be smelling Karis and their scent, but what he didn't notice was that his clothes were actually caught on a branch. With a snapping sound, the branch was snapped, and just a soft sound made the hearts of the two Keras who were not far away startled. "Oh no, he's right behind us." The two hurriedly jumped up and hurriedly ran towards the bottom of the hillside. They ran all the way down and then disappeared into the dense jungle. At this moment, Cobra chastised himself for his carelessness, then carefully crawled over to where the two Keras men had just been lying down. He immediately set up his sniper rifle and scanned the jungle in front of him, but found nothing. Rushing down, the two Keras men had hidden themselves. They knew where Cobra was at this very moment, and Keras needed an optimal firing point. Under the cover of the bushes they began to slowly make their way up the hill, but this also exposed themselves to Cobra. Cobra had spotted them through his sniper scope and he smiled, thinking that this time they were dead. At this moment, Keras was surprised by a movement in the jungle. He was very nervous. In a panic, he stepped on a dead tree under his feet, his body lost balance and was about to fall. At that moment, Cobra pulled the trigger and the bullet whistled past Keras' ear. Unexpectedly, this mistake actually saved his life, and he dropped to the ground and hurriedly checked for injuries. When he looked at his deputy, he realized that the bullet had pierced the water bottle hanging from his leg, but miraculously missed his thigh. At that moment the Cobra on the hillside hastily withdrew from the firing point he had just made, and he ran down the slope over the ridge and disappeared into the underbrush. The two Keras men heard the sound of Cobra's escape and immediately chased after him. They climbed up the slope and stood on the top of the hill observing the bottom. Keras searched the area with a sniper scope while his deputy assisted him with binoculars. Cobra, who was hiding in the bushes below, also spotted the two, and he quickly set up his sniper rifle and began to take aim. Suddenly, a ray of sunlight hit Cobra's scope, and a bright flash of light flashed from the distant bushes. In the nick of time, Keras didn't hesitate to aim at the flash and pull the trigger. A crisp shot pierced the jungle, and the Cobra on the hillside fell to the ground dead. Later, when examining the body, Keras realized that the Cobra's sniper scope had been pierced. The bullet had penetrated the sniper scope and then hit the Cobra's eye. But there is no doubt that Cobra is a top sniper. He did not lose to the tactics this time, did not lose to the technology, did not lose to the equipment, and finally lost to the ray of sunshine. Otherwise the one who fell must be Keras. This video is a true reproduction of the whole process of the legendary American sniper, White Feather, sniping Vietnamese sniper, Cobra. Masters of the game is often a hit kill. Today we will be a few minutes to see the two top snipers of the year between life and death showdown. One day in 1966, located in Vietnam somewhere near the US military base deep in the jungle, under the cover of the trees, a sniper is quietly lurking. He is the US Army called Cobra, Vietnam's top sniper. Previously, Cobra has continuously sniped several US soldiers, a time to make the US military panic. Today he plans to send away an unlucky soldier. Far away from the US military base, two strong soldiers are showing each other muscles. Wait until the two performances are completed. Cobra will be aimed at one of them, and then did not hesitate to pull the trigger. With the sound of a gunshot, one of them instantly fell to the ground, and the other immediately spotted Cobra's position. He roared out, then copied the weapon next to him and swept wildly at that patch of woods. However, Cobra was prepared, and he had already withdrawn long ago while the American soldier was frantically strafing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the forest, a US Marine sniper and his second-in-command were lurking in their ghillie suits, the man the VC hated so much, Keras Hescock. The legendary sniper had a record of 93 kills during his service, with an unofficial kill count of more than 300. Keras was armed with a Winchester M70 sniper rifle, and often had a white feather in his hat, so he was known to the Viet Cong as the White Feather. The sound of US soldiers shooting attracted their attention, and they slowly searched the area where they had been shot at. Along the way, a particular spot caught Keras's attention. Although it was a very small spot, the grass and blades on the ground were flattened, and the angle toward the US base was perfect. More importantly, next to this location was a small ditch that could lead elsewhere, and this small ditch could perfectly evade the machine gun fire from the base side, thus allowing the sniper to retreat in one piece. With Keras's rich experience, he concluded that this was the Cobra's ambush position, so they slowly began to search along the small ditch. He noticed some dirt on the blades of grass on both sides of the small ditch, which obviously must have been left behind by the Cobra as it crept forward, and there were also traces of people crawling next to it. Keras signaled the deputy that they were to search forward along this trail, and the two men cautiously made their way up the hill. Slowly the small gully led them deeper into the jungle. By now they had been searching for hours, but it was getting dark and the two men would have to camp out in the field. Do you know how fast the world's fastest fighter jets really are? This is the Swedish Saab 35 Draken and the European Eurofighter Typhoon, both traveling at 1,534 miles per hour. That's the Russian Tupolev Tu-160 at 1,573 miles per hour. This is the American F-16 and the Russian MiG-21, both traveling at 1,573 miles per hour. This is the Swedish Saab 37 Viggen and the Russian Sukhoi Su-57, both traveling at 1,611 miles per hour. This is the Panavia Tornado ADV from the UK, Germany, and Italy, and the Mirage 2000 from France, both at 1,688 miles per hour. This is the American F-104 Starfighter, traveling at 1,688 miles per hour. This is the Russian Sukhoi Su-47 at 1,695 miles per hour. This is the American F-4 Phantom II at 1,711 miles per hour. Now we're looking at the Russian Sukhoi Su-35, the US F-22 Raptor, and the Russian Mikoyan MiG-35, all traveling at 1,726 miles per hour. This is the British English Electric Lightning, traveling at 1,764 miles per hour. This is the Russian MiG-29 Fulcrum, also at 1,764 miles per hour. This is a Russian Sukhoi Su-27 and a Russian MiG-23 Flogger, both traveling at 1,803 miles per hour. This is the US F-14 Tomcat, at 1,841 miles per hour. This is the US F-15 Eagle and the US F-111 Aardvark, both at 1,918 miles per hour. This is the Russian MiG-31 Foxhound at 2,171 miles per hour. This is the American XB-70 Valkyrie at 2,378 miles per hour. This is the US Bell X-2 and the Russian MiG-25 Foxbat, both traveling at 2,455 miles per hour. This is the American State Route 71 Blackbird at 2,547 miles per hour. This is the American X-15 at 5,140 miles per hour.